Okay, on this piece, I'm going to use CS601 Coal Black to antique it with. So I'm putting some in my palette. I'm going to add a little bit of water. I'm using the medium Sumi brush to apply the color. And then I'm going to wipe it back. I wouldn't do the whole surface because of how dark this color is. I would do a small area like I'm doing, and then we will wipe back. So I'm going to divide it into thirds basically. The color stroke that I'm using is an opaque underglaze. Damp sponge, and just wipe back the top surface. Constantly changing your sponge because it gets dirty. Rinse it out. Otherwise you're just moving it around, you're not removing it. You can remove as much as you want or as little as you want. Let's keep that sponge clean. You could use a small fan. Really doesn't matter what type of brush you put it on with. I'm using the medium Sumi brush. It's Colors for Earth. So this piece uses our butterfly floral roller. We're Coal Mountain Pottery and myself are collabing on this, and I sent my artwork over to her, and she turned it in. Shauna turned it into a roller. Kind of cool to see that happen. I'm super excited to see what you guys do with this. I'm going to show you what I do, but I'm sure there's more ways to use it out there that I haven't thought of. This, excuse me, I'm sick. So I don't have, my voice is also kind of hoarse. This is the full roller, which is 8" or 7 3/4. I will pop it up on the screen here when I do the video. We also have one that is just the butterfly. So if you didn't want all the floral in the background, you can get it. And for instance, this is one here that's just the butterfly. It's a 5" roller. And then I took some stamps and I just stamped in some flowers in the background. And the chicks are the same way. The sassy chicks that are in another video. So they have a background, or you can get it by themselves. So it just depends on what you, how you like to work. You could use your color concentrates mixed with the gloss medium, equal parts, to do the same thing if you wanted. It's just that the color strokes are so much cheaper, and that's why I'm using those. Alright, let's wipe this off. Okay. Alright, so if you want more of the background wiped off, you want more of the natural clay color, you can take a magic eraser, which you can find the knockoffs on Amazon, and just go back over it again. Same thing. Continually change your direction of your sponge. Continually wipe it clean. But what that does is make that background even more white or buff colored, so that your colors will be nice and vibrant if it's not fighting against the black. Just constantly rinse. Okay. And then we can come back and put an edge on it, whatever color we want. Probably the black after we get it painted. Okay, so that is called antiquing with an underglaze. And I used a opaque underglaze. Colors for Earth color strokes is what I used. CS 601 coal black. And just try to look at it and get all the sponge particles off of there. You'll probably find them when you start decorating. But if you have another brush, you can just brush them off just in case it'll catch some of those, which it did. There's another one. Because we don't want it to get trapped between the glaze and the bisque, because it could create it'll burn off, but it'll create a blemish there or cause color to roll. Okay, I'm just using a 1/2 inch soft mop brush. So let me show you another smaller piece that I did. Okay, so this is basically what we've done. We've antiqued it with the black, or what I'm going to do on this one. And then I'm using color concentrates on, I used Aqua Splash, Key Lime, a little bit of Floral, 124 Yellow Ochre, I believe. And the purple you could use the 137 Bright Violet, or you can use the 637 Bright Purple, which isn't opaque, so it would cover more of the background in case you left too much black on it. But that shows you how you can do that. Okay? Alright, so we will let this dry a little bit and then come back and start painting. Okay, so on this tray, I'm going to basically do it the same way that I did here on this little sample. Key Lime CC 160. You can do it with or without the gloss medium. I'm going to put a couple of drops in there just to make sure, not equal parts, but I want to make sure that there's a little bit of it in there. And then we're going to get out some LE 003 Aqua Splash. Same thing, put a few drops. All right, so we're going to start with the lighter color, which is the aqua. Small sumi brush. Dampen your brush before you start. And we're going to you could detail this, but I'm going to keep it fairly simple. You're going to come down about halfway, or where these large sections begin. And I'm just patting the color in just to make sure it gets down in the crevices. Okay, and then I'm going to turn the piece without washing my brush, pick up the Key Lime, start it towards the center of the body, or the butterfly, and work it back. And by leaving that first color in your brush, it blends nicely. Because when you set it down, it's just mushing into the previous color that's on your brush, so that you get a nice transition from one color to the other. I am sick at the moment, and I have to get this done. So, bear with me. Okay, see how that looks? Okay, then I would wipe out the darker color, the green, and go back in to the Aqua Splash to start the next wing. Okay. If you take small sections at a time, it makes it a little more manageable. If you work really fast, you could do the whole side, but you want to do it wet on wet, so I like to put it in smaller sections. Now we can clean up anything where I get out of the line in just a minute, and that's what makes it nice with the medium with it. You don't have to worry about being able to get it off. Okay, so just mush it on. So you're really doing a couple of coats. Turn your piece around. This is key. Go right into the key lime. Tuck it in near the body. And set it down, mush, mush, mush. Walk it to the right and walk it to the left. Just go back and forth, grabbing the green as you need it. It's about halfway. I'm not sure what this is here. I'm gonna put another coat real quickly on that. It's almost like there's something on the bisque. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Wipe. Go into the Aqua Splash. Pat that color in to get it down in all the crevices. Let's zoom in a little bit. And you can even break it down a little bit more where, oh, speaking of cleaning up that one, I forgot to do that. Just take water and a brush and just push it back to where it needs to go. You could break it down between this swing part and this part if you wanted. You could have 3 sections if you wanted to do it that way. Because I'm not worried about if I get out of the lines at the moment, because I can always go back and clean that up. Get that down in the crevice. The black will come through, which you can see on that other piece. Let's clean this really quick. Just swish it back. Turn the piece around. Do not rinse. Pick up the key lime mix. So set it down. And I'm turning the brush over to get the color off the other side too, because there was a lot over there. There's no sense of wasting that when you can use it. Sit it down, mush, mush, mush. Walk it to the right and walk it to the left. Just back and forth multiple times till you get a nice transition from one color to the other. Okay, turn it back around, wipe out the green, go into the aqua. And I want it to go down in the crevices, because the black that's underneath will shade it, because these are translucent, remember. Let's get this off of here. See how easily? It's like you're erasing it. Turn it around. Pick up the key lime. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so on the leaves, excuse me, I did 2 colors. I did like the key lime all over, and then came back and shaded with a darker green. So I'm going to rinse my brush. And we're going to get a little bit of 62 out, which is super, super strong. So we are going to mix it 50-50 with the medium, the gloss medium. Alright, so I'm going to pick some larger ones to start with. Once again, start with the light color. So tuck that color in where you want it, which is out on the tip. And it's about halfway to 3/4. Do one leaf or one section at a time, just like I showed you. If you try to do a whole bunch of all the light and then the darks, it's going to dry, and you need to work wet on wet, and it just won't look good. I'm going to wipe some of that dark off. A little strong. I'm also going to push that off. And I got a little bit on my petal there. Wipe out the dark. Go back into the light. You don't have to rinse your brush. Just use what you've got there so that you can have a nice transition from one color to the other. Turn it around. You can use a lazy Susan if you wanted to. Pat, pat, pat. Sit it down, mush, mush, mush. Walk it to the right and walk it to the left. Wipe out the dark. Clean up anything with a clean brush. So I'm going to go through and do the bigger ones because I'll need to switch to the smaller brush to do the smaller ones. So you're just patting that color in. Get it down in the crevices. Turn it around. Pick up a tiny, tiny bit of the Floral. It's very strong. Sit it down, mush, mush, mush. Walk it to the right and walk it to the left. And then wipe to get rid of the dark. Find your next large leaf, which there's one right here. Turn, tap that color in. You can bring some of this down the center vein if you wanted to. Like, you could go like that if you wanted. Wipe off the dark. Go back into the light. Wipe, wipe. I had a chunk of clay that came off on this one, but I was in such a hurry to get these done so that we could release them that I just going with it. It's not like I'm going to sell it or anything. It's just a sample for you guys. Pick up a little bit of the dark. Wipe, wipe. Lots of turning. But you have to work wet on wet to get that nice blend. And you're going to try to do, sometimes on the little ones you can do a couple, but you'll try to do it and you just won't You're like, how come mine doesn't look like yours, Paula? Well, it's because you didn't do one at a time and blend that while it's wet. I can generally look at a piece and tell you that's exactly what you did. Wipe, wipe. Guess we can consider this a large one. So you're patting on, you're only going to do this once. So you want to get it a nice coloring. So just keep working it until you get it like you want it. Wipe. You could go do them all that are going in the same direction to make it easier. All of them pointed one way. Do all of those and then turn around and come back and do the others if you didn't want to constantly keep changing the direction of your peas. Turn. So I could jump over here and do this one. So do whatever is easy, but you need to do all the colors, or both of the colors on one leaf before you jump to the next leaf. That's your key. It'll make for a better blending and a nice transition from one color to the next color. So you'll definitely need more of the light color than you will the dark, because it is very strong. You won't need as much of it. The larger the brush you use in the area, the softer the look. And if you can't use the small and you need to go to the mini, you just may have to work at it a little bit longer to get that transition from one color to the next. Lost it. This one. It's like I just found it and now I've lost it. Okay, so I'm going to just keep doing these, and then I'll be back to show you the next step. Okay? Okay, I think that's all that size. The rest of them we can do with the mini semi. Now, these are small enough that you can try to do 2 at a time if you want, but if you work slow, I would just do 1 at a time, just to make sure that it stays wet on wet. Just remember that dark color is really strong. And these are little baby leaves, so you don't need a whole lot on them. Okay, so 124 yellow ochre for the centers of the flowers. Then it's like a couple of drops of water. And pat that in. Because remember, you're going to have the black behind it to shade it. Okay. Okay, before I forget, I want to do the shading on the wings. So see here where I went in with the darker green, the 162, next to the water load, drag off to a point, and just barely tip in that dark green. Because remember, it's super, super strong. Tuck it in where it should be darker, and then walk it back and allow that to bleed and go down in the crevices. Okay. Alright, now we're going to do the purple on the flowers. And I just shaded the outside, similar to what I just did in here. This is the bright violet CC, and or you could use the CS if you had it, if you wanted a little bit darker. So CC 137, bright violet, water load, the small sumi, tip into that purple fairly generously, and tuck that, and I just did that backwards. I want it on the outside, not the inside. You could have some both ways though, I guess. Alright, we'll leave that one alone for a minute. Let it dry. So because the purples tend to burn out, be generous. Now that doesn't mean to be heavy. You can put on more than one coat if you feel like you need it. And don't forget to go down in these little cavities. That's like part of the petal. constantly turn. You could even put two colors on them if you want a different shade near the center, or a different color altogether. Totally up to you, whatever your favorite colors are. Alright, if you want a little bit darker yellow in the centers, Curry CC 125. Put it down like to a wash so that it just kind of flows over what is there, and just kind of see how it falls in the crevices. It's almost like antiquing it. Okay. Now, other than painting the black on the body, I am going to go, you can do it with the same black that you antiqued with. That way it matches. And it also covers up anything that you might have got in that area. Okay. Now, on these up here, probably the purple, although the aqua would look nice too. Decisions, or you could just leave it. Let's put a little aqua in there and see the aqua splash mix. This is the mini Sumi. You could use a liner brush. Alright, so the next thing you would do is put a band around the edge, and I will use the black. Want to see how I do it? So we're going to use the 1-inch foam brush. Looks like a house, sides of the house, the roof of the house. We're going to stay right in the middle. I slightly dampened it, and the wheel is just to aid us in turning it around so that we can get a nice, professional, even edge. You don't have to have a wheel. You can do it without it. But it's always nice to have one. I'll slightly come over the top right here where I've got an edge, because I want that to be, see that little edge there? I want that to be black. Whoops. Alright, let's get that off of there. Switch that off. Alright. Turn your brush over so that you get the color off the other side. Okay. Oops. Oh my goodness, that was not good. Okay. Damp sponge. Quickly take that off. I'll go back and add the aqua in a minute. So let me go back over here. Okay. I guess that's black that's missing in those crevices there from the antiquing. So I'm just going to leave it. Alright, after this dries, you will apply 2 coats. This is stoneware, remember, so we're going to put 2 coats of the zinc-free clear, McCoy's SW004 zinc-free clear over the top. Okay. Hope you like the project, and I will put all the templates and forms and stuff in the video when I post it. All right, happy painting, and I look forward to seeing your creations. Now remember, you can mist with water, and that's going to show you what it's going to look like, more like, when it's fired. Isn't that beautiful?